Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach, and it is going to be the final round of the season. It's been a mixed bag this year. You know, we've been going pretty well, despite, in my opinion, some pretty bad luck throughout a good chunk of the year. Last week, absolutely just shit went off the rails. We're sitting, what are we, like 1,700 now overall, which is, it's not great. It's not great. A big drop off, which is disappointing. Absolute carnage, as everybody knows. This week, oh baby, this week we're in for quite a wild ride. I honestly, this could be anything. At the moment, it looks like we've come out okay. Let's say that. We've come out okay at the moment, but it could go horribly wrong very, very quickly. So we're going to go through the team. We'll talk about team lists, all the players out, and how we're shaping up, and all this and that, and yeah, we'll just have a look and hope. I mean, I would love. It would feel great if we could just somehow pull out a good week this week and jump back into the top 1,000. Honestly, that would be nice. Is it likely to happen? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are going to struggle for numbers, but how much are they going to struggle? And also, can the people I don't own stop scoring tries? That would be nice. But let's go through. Let's go through. Damien Cook. Oh baby, thank God I did not trade out Cook a few weeks ago. I can't remember who I traded out instead. I mean, the person I traded out may have been playing this week anyway, so you know it might not have been that much better. But it is nice to have a backup dummy half. Obviously, Grant is out rested. I gotta be honest, I mean, I guess the fact that Storm and Broncos are both resting all their players, it does make sense that Grant's getting a rest, but I didn't really expect Grant to get a full rest, which is probably a bit naive because, I mean, he's played the whole season, he played Origin, he definitely needs a rest, and I get, it makes sense. It makes sense that he does, but it's nice that we got Cookie there to cover, and also having Cook is nice because, like, he's definitely a lot of people definitely own Cook, maybe as their number one or backup like me, but a lot of people also own Wade Egan potentially, who was also out. What other dummy halves are playing? I mean, Reed Marnie's playing, I guess. Cody Nikarima, if you've got a dummy half, is going to be there. So it's a tricky week, but we got Cook, thankfully. Front row, we have Joe Tarpany, Corey Horsburgh. Oh, Horsburgh is gone. I got to be honest, I was hoping he would get off because, again, it would have been nice because obviously Payne Haas and Adam Fanil-Blake are like really heavily owned, and both those guys are getting rest, so they were obviously not playing this week with the resting. Corey Horsburgh, though, he would have played this week, but he got fucking suspended, and it would have been a really nice little boost for Horsburgh owners like myself, and who didn't own Adam Fanil-Blake, who keeps scoring tries. It would have eased it slightly, but no, Horsburgh was found guilty, and he is gone. So it is what it is. We're not going to miss out on too much because all those other guys are rested. Anyone that was able to get in Big Tino, a love and life, because he is going to turn into an absolute fucking pod this week. With so many front rowers not... I mean, Tohu Harris is out, Horsburgh, Fanil-Blake, and Payne Haas. So if you own Tarpany and Tino, you're doing pretty well this week. Fafita is playing, thank God. I was looking through all the team lists, and I came to the Titans. I'm like, oh fuck, they're gonna rest Fafita, aren't they? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter too much. Like, again, a lot of people own Fafita, so if he got rested, does it really change too much? It does. Like, I say a lot of people own, but at the same time, a lot of people don't own, so it's nice that he's there. Britton Nikora is playing. Brendan Piakora, there is a god. Brendan Piakora has come into the starting team with Kurt Capel getting a rest. This was probably the one that was going to tilt me the most. If the Broncos literally rested like 10 of their players, but somehow didn't rest Capel or Ricky, and Piakora was going to play like 10 minutes off the bench, I was actually going to lose my mind. But thank God, Capel is getting a rest, and our boy Piakora is getting a start. Now I'm not expecting the world, but if he can just get 40 points, I would take 40 points. That would be lovely if he can take 40 points. If Piakora can jag a try, oh baby, that would be nice. But I'll take 40. Tohu Harris obviously out injured. Cartwright on the bye. John Bateman, fuck, he's picked up an injury, so he is out this week. Unfortunate again. But that's how it goes. Bateman's been a good trade-in for me. He's scored well. He's done the job when I've needed to play him. It's unfortunate that he hasn't quite seen me through to the end, but still, the Bateman pickup was a good trade-in at the time, and I stand by it. Nathan Cleary is there. Nico Hines is named. But we'll see. Cody Walker is obviously back, which is nice. Cameron Munster and Kalen Ponga are out. So, again, Cody Walker becomes probably a pretty good pod for a lot of people. Again, a lot of people own Cody Walker, but I would say more people own Munster than Walker, just from feel. So if you don't have a trade to get rid of Munster or Ponga, then Cody Walker, if he can just, if just some of these players can just go big this week, it'd be nice. And then centre wing, Marju, thank God Marju is there. Alex Johnson obviously back. Ronnie is there. Joey Manu has been named. We'll see. Ruben Garrick is not back. Chance is rested, which, fair enough. Ty Munro, unfortunately, is not back as well. I thought he would get a go because Tane Milne's actually out, but they brought back... what's his name? I'm totally blanking. Isaac Thompson, they brought back instead of Ty Munro, which is... It's annoying, I gotta be honest. It would have been nice if Munro was playing this week. Tedesco is obviously back, which is beautiful. Because, there's not many fullback options, are there? There's not many fullback options this week. Apart from, who was there? Drinkwater. I guess Kohler playing fullback. But you'd want him in centre wing if you could. Who else? Not many others. Pappenhausen's back. And Dallin, our number one trade-in. Dallin is rested. We'll talk about Dallin in a second. But so at the moment, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We got 13, and that 13 is actually pretty good. Right? If all things go to plan, then we're actually sitting pretty well, I think. Because, again, the 13 we've got, they're all pretty good. I mean, most of them are genuine guns. Like, the only potential... Piakora starting could do pretty well. The rest of our squad is pretty good. I mean, Johnston and Mulatalo, they could have really low games, but everybody else, it's pretty good. But that 13, worst case scenario, could go down to 10. Joey Manu, obviously 50-50. If Joey Manu's out, it is going to be frustrating, but again, a lot of people own Manu. They're going to be in the same boat. So who knows? Who knows if he plays or not? It's a Hemi. You never know. I'm sort of banking on him not playing, if I'm honest, but I'm praying that he does. Nathan Cleary is interesting, and Nico Hines as well. So Hines obviously missed last week with a quad. It's still a big game this week, and like, I mean, he has been named, but who knows? I'm just praying that both these guys play, because the fact Johnston is out, it would be a big boost to have both these guys in. Obviously, people who jumped on Cherry Evans would be praying that these guys don't play, because Cherry Evans would turn into the absolute pod of all pods, because Jerome Hughes is also out. Obviously, Munster we talked about. But Hines, like, I don't know. They play late in the round as well, which is annoying. They play the last game in the round, so it's going to be fucking... I mean, we'll know earlier than obviously Sunday afternoon. We'll probably know Saturday if he's going to play or not. I really hope he does. Nathan Cleary, like, I got to be honest. So I feel like Manu, I would say, is less likely to play. That's my opinion. Hines, I think, is more 50-50, although I don't know, because he could be feeling great. He could be feeling 100% for all we know. Nathan Cleary, I'm leaning on the side of he will play. Now, obviously, there's a bit to do with if the Broncos beat the Storm, then they wrap up the minor premiership, and the Panthers don't really have anything to play for. So that's when you might see all the Panthers players or a lot of them get rested, because they've named a pretty full strength team, or as full strength as it probably potentially could be. There's a couple of guys out, obviously. If the Broncos lose, I think Cleary is definitely going to play, because they're playing for the minor premiership. They're taking on the Cowboys, who are, the Cowboys last year, they rested all their players and the Cowboys gave them a touch-up. They'd remember that. Surely they don't want that to happen again, right? So I think Cleary would play in that situation. But even if the Broncos win, I still lean on the fact that Cleary would play, just because... One, he obviously missed quite a bit of time with an injury, which I guess you could factor in, while giving him another week off would be beneficial so he doesn't get injured again. But I don't know. I'm more leaning towards, he'd like to just get back to his best form. I also think the Panthers have been pretty ordinary the last few weeks, even with like Luai in the full strength team. Like, the last few weeks they've been pretty poor, in my opinion. And going into the finals, like, you want to be firing this time of the year, and I honestly think the Panthers they're not firing. I don't think they're firing at all. Now, I still think they're definitely favourites for the comp, but they're not really going in with insane form like they have in the last couple of years. So I think in that case as well, they would want Cleary just to, get some more form under his belt. And also the fact that Luai is out injured, Cogger comes into 5'8", and again, they would want Cleary and Cogger to form a combo pretty quickly, because Luai, he could be back in a couple of weeks, but like a dislocated shoulder, it might not feel great, and he might miss the full final series. You don't know. So they'd want Cleary and Cogger to get a good combination. So I'm leaning towards Cleary playing. At the end of the day, anything could happen, but that's what I'm leaning towards. So I'm thinking positively that there's not going to be drama for my team, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. At the moment, like I said, we've got 13 pretty strong players. It looks pretty good. I honestly can't be too disappointed with the 13 I've got on the park if it all goes to plan. But again, anything can happen. We'll see how it goes. Sit starts, I think it sort of picked itself. The big one here, captaincy, vice captaincies. Oh my god. So this is really gonna make or break it, because fucking last week broke me. But even like this week, especially playing with, like, most people are gonna be short, let's be real. So the vice captaincy and captaincy options are massive. If you can just nail a big score, it can make up for having less players. But if you stuff it up, or you get fucked over, then you will get stuffed. So, boy boy, oh boy. Broncos Storm. There's not too many. Fuck, you know what? Before we get into that, let's talk about if we had a trade left. Bro, we've had some... The fact that I had such a bad week last week, now I feel like I'm okay to start complaining a bit, because before that, I was still sitting at a pretty healthy rank, and it was always like, I shouldn't be complaining too much. It seems a little bit, seems a little bit whingy. But now, fuck it. Everything's out the window. Man, like, we brought in Katoa a few weeks ago for the buys. He bloody does something to his eye, like a laceration, which you'd think maybe 1 week, 2 weeks. No, he's gone for many weeks, so we have to trade him out. He was going to be one of our big pods for the run home, cover the buys, didn't do it. We had to waste a trade, bring him out. Then he comes back and absolutely blitzes it, which I thought he would, and he would have been a great number for the last round, but it is what it is. Fucking Dallin, though. Dallin's got to be the worst trade of all time, right? Like, we brought him in. He was our final trade. He was our final trade last week, our number one priority trade. I mean, and I still wasn't that confident of Dallin, and we'll talk a bit more about it as well, but brought him in, vice-captained him because I felt like he potentially had the highest ceiling in most of our plays. That's fine. 25 points, not great, and then gets rested this week. So our final trade, our final high-priced trade, scores 25 the week we brought him in, and then doesn't play the final round. I honestly, it's the worst trade. It's the worst trade of all time. And I mean, honestly, I didn't even, for whatever reason, I didn't even really think about it that he would get rested for this final game. For whatever reason, I didn't really factor in him getting rested. I was thinking like Fanua Blake and Sean Johnson and potentially Chance getting rested, but for whatever reason, I just didn't give it too much thought that Dallin would get rested. And that's really stuffed me, because like, even I remember when I did the video, like, it stings even more because I was very keen on Cooler, like even Suoli'i to an extent, although not as high. Obviously, if I knew Manu would get injured and Suoli'i would go to fullback, I would have been pretty keen. But both those guys I was somewhat keen on, Cooler especially, but I was still like, it was just before lockout, and I still really hadn't made up my mind, and I just thought, you know what, we'll bring in Dallin. He's done it before. Cooler is a bit untested at fullback. I'm not sure how he'll go. Suoli'i with Sam Walker back, will he take over the goal kicking? There were many other decisions to be had, and we brought in Dallin just because the two easy matchups, and just the fact he could score another 3 tries that week and blow us out of the water. He did the opposite, but it was just like, we'll just go Dallin. We'll play it safe. We'll go Dallin. And then it turned into the worst. So that's really stuffed me, because if I had one trade this week, 100% I would be trading out Kalen Ponga for Ryan Papenhuyzen. I think that would be just, oh, baby. I mean, Papenhuyzen should be goal kicking. Obviously, they're both like reserve grade teams. The Broncos, I would say, have a little bit more quality in their side. But Pappy could be anything, and it would be such a nice trade this week. I would love to bring him in this week. Just for the fun of it, just getting to watch Pappy. If he blows Broncos away, it would be nice to see. Not as a Broncos fan, but just seeing Pappy back and seeing a big score. But we couldn't hold a trade. And I mean, I still stand like it. I know in hindsight, you'd be like, oh, you could have just waited on the trade, but it didn't make sense to really wait on the trade when Latrell was going to be missing last week and this week. It was more pressing that we got in a keeper last week. And obviously didn't work out. That's Supercoach. But yeah, it is what it is. That's how she goes. that's how it goes, man. But captain, vice captain. So let's have a look. So I just talked about Pappy for a second. If you're bringing in Pappy, and I would highly recommend, if you got one trade left, and obviously if you own Ponga, if you can swing it, Definitely, well, don't definitely. I mean, make up your own mind. But I would definitely be bringing in Ryan Papenhuyzen and vice captaining him against the Broncos at Suncorp. He might be clunky. The Storm might be trash with like no players, and he might not have any opportunity. That could happen. But I feel like he's out of most of these games, like he can do it on his own. Like they're sort of both reserve grade teams to an extent. And you've got Ryan Papenhuyzen in one team. So he could kill it and the Storm could still be trash. So I would be bringing in Ryan Papenhuyzen and vice-captaining him. Anybody else? No. There's no one else from this game. There's no Reece Walsh. There's no Ezra. No Payne Haas. No Katoni. No Farnworth. There's nobody. Melbourne, there's no Munster. There's no Grant. There's no Solomona. No Hughes. It's going to be an interesting game, interesting week all round. Manly Tigers, who have we got in this one? So if you own Cherry Evans, I mean, the easiest vice captaincy of all time to go with Cherry Evans, like 100%. If you own Kohler, if I own both, I'd be loving life, but if I own both, I'd probably still go vice captaincy Cherry Evans. If I didn't own Cherry Evans and I own Kohler, he would still be a fantastic vice captaincy option. I mean, the Tigers, I'm just hoping the Tigers dish up a good performance. Like, just, I don't know, do something. Just make sure Manly don't flog you, so Cherry Evans and Kohler go ballistic. Rabbitohs Roosters, so this is tough. Obviously, I got Tedesco. He's always going to be a decent vice captain option, but it's against South. No Latrell. No, who else are they missing? They're not missing too many other players though. I think the Roosters are more depleted, right? No Hargraves, Manu potentially out. But, Sam Walker is back. I don't know if necessarily he's going to be good or bad for Tedesco, though. I like Tedesco. For the Rabbits, I mean, I guess Cook to an extent, but he hasn't generally shown too much. Like, he's obviously had the one big score a couple of weeks ago, but probably not the high ceiling guy to vice captain. Cody Walker, definite vice captain option. Without Latrell, I mean, Cody Walker probably, I don't know, does he score better without Latrell? Potentially he does, because he's not getting his, tries, his taking out, sort of shared between him and Latrell. He's more doing it by himself. So I don't hate the Cody Walker vice captaincy. Out of him and Tedesco, that's a tough one. That is a real tough one. I got to have a look at the teams again better to sort of work that out. I'd probably lean towards Cody. He had the week off. There's been a lot of talk about the Rabbits. I feel like he's in for a big game. I guess Tedesco as well had the week off with concussion, but I don't know. That's a tough one. But I like both options. Dolphins Warriors. So, I mean, if you own Jermaine Asako against this understrength Warriors team, I really like the Asako vice captaincy. Or captaincy if you wanted to be ballsy. Anyone else? I mean, not really. I mean, yeah, there's no one really else. People would really own Nikorima. I wouldn't really do it. Penrith Cowboys. So obviously Cleary, if he plays, he's a massive vice captain option every week. Scotty Drinkwater, depends. If Penrith are slightly weaker, then Drinkwater becomes pretty tempting, but I don't know. Just the fact the Cowboys flogged Penrith last year by them resting so many players, they would remember that. They wouldn't want the Cowboys to get another fucking huge win over their young Panthers team. So yeah, and they've been I just feel like the Panthers are going to fire up for this game. I don't think they're going to rest that many players. Dragons Newcastle. So no Kalen Ponga. No Dane Gagai. I didn't mention that, but honestly, Dane Gagai being rested is so nice to hear. Like, it just makes the decision to go a clock start and a Dallin, like, not as bad, because Gagai is now also getting rested, who I was also pretty keen on potentially getting out of those guys. But I don't know. No one really jumps out at me at this one. Yeah, I don't. I guess if you had a trade, like Lockie Miller going back to fullback, goal kicking, he was obviously pretty good at the start of the year, but he did have some low scores in him. I don't know. I think if you had the trade, I would just bring in Like, I wouldn't go near Mill. Like, Miller's not bad, but I would just rather get Pappy. I think Pappy's got a much higher ceiling, and I would just rather watch Pappenhausen than Miller, honestly. Gold Coast Bulldogs, I mean, obviously for feeder, if I had Tino, honestly, I'd probably just straight captain Tino. Obviously, I'd put a flyer on a vice captain, but I think Tino is such a safe captaincy, right? Like, he's doing... I get the one thing, it's the final round of the game. Is Tino really going to play massive minutes in a game that doesn't matter? He probably will, because he did get suspended for those games. He probably feels like he has to make up for it as the captain. So he probably still will, but I'd be a little nervous that he gets an early spell. And that's why I'm nervous about Fafita. Obviously, Fafita against the Dogs, you're like, oh, that's a good captaincy shout. But I'm just worried fucking Fafita playing like 40 minutes or something, dude. Like, I can't handle another heartbreak. He played 80 last week, so... I don't know. Tino and Fafita scare me a little bit, but I'd lean towards Tino if I had him just straight captain and take the 70, 80 points just in base and potential tries. And then Sharks Raiders, again, Nico Hines, very good shout. That's a tough one, because obviously I own Hines and Cleary. Well, it's not actually that tough, because at the end of the day, I think I don't know. They're both weird sort of matchups. Probably the Sharks Raiders has a bit more riding on it, but the Cowboys are playing for a spot in the top 8. But Cleary plays before Hines. Hines is still not 100% to play. So Cleary for me would be a vice captain or captain over Hines. I wouldn't risk. There'd be no reason to risk going Hines and not having Cleary as one or the other if Hines gets ruled out. So it would just be a bit of a... Yeah, there's no point in risking it. So for me, I think I'm leaning... I think if Cleary plays, I think him captain. You know, I think that's just the way to go. And then vice captain... I don't know. You could go captain for feeder as well. I'm just more nervous about him getting rested. Much more nervous about that. He could still get like 40 to 50, but I don't know. I think Cleary is more likely. If he plays, he's not going to get... Well, he could get an early spell. You never know. He could be... Oh, man. I don't know. Vice captain, though. Tedesco's tempting. I still think Tedesco's pretty good. Although Cody, probably at the moment, I think Cody Walker vice, Cleary captain. Cody Walker's had the week off. I just fucking please, can my vice captain just go massive? Or at least, honestly, I'll take 100. If Walker goes like 90 to 100 points, I will loop it for sure. If he goes massive, dude, can you imagine if Cody Walker goes like 150 plus? Oh... but I think he is my preferred. Tedesco, obviously a good shout as well against the Bunnies, but I think the Bunnies are a little bit stronger. There's no one really else I'm that keen on. Cook, maybe, but nah, I wouldn't be that keen on. I think it's out of Cody Walker and Tedesco, and then captaincy on Cleary and Fafita, and I'd rather Cleary. If Cleary is ruled out, or if he gets a rest, and then Hines is confirmed to play, then I guess I would just go Hines as captain. If they're both out, fuck me dead. There's no point. I'd probably just go captain for feeder, I guess, in that case. But if they're both out, then fucking show's over, dude. Show's over. But that's pretty much all she wrote. I'm going to have a quick look. So, what is... Let's have a quick squiz. What is my... We go back to... I just want to have a quick look at my score compared to, like, the top 1,000, basically. Because what are we... 31,110. I'm just writing it down so I don't forget, because I'm a fucking fool. Go back. No. Where the hell am I going? Go to edit team. I just want to have a quick squiz at how big a jump I need to get back. Surely it can't be that big a jump, because I mean I was sitting in the top 500. Like I feel like I'd be pretty close. Not to the top 100. So I mean, look, the top 100, we're like, yeah, 600 points out. Which is only, it's actually not that far out. It's actually pretty congested, honestly. I mean, I'm not going to make up 600 points this week, but it's not that far out if we're being honest. Let's just go back to like the top 500 quickly, where I was sitting for like the last couple of months. So yeah. Like 300 points. So yeah, it'd be 300 point jump. I mean, we dropped, like, we scored under 1,000. A lot of people were going like 1,200. So it could happen. It could happen this week if things don't go horribly for us. A 300 point swing obviously could happen. It doesn't mean we're going to jump everybody. It's not going to mean we're going to beat everybody by 300 points. But just, you know, just a frame of reference. And then if we go to the top 1,000, which is the goal, like honestly, 500 to 1,000, who gives a shit? You get top 1,000, it's a little bit of something, something. So yeah, we're pretty close. Yeah, 200 points, less than 200 points. So we're not that far out. It sort of just takes something nice, you know. Just as long as if Manu isn't playing, that's not too bad. If Cleary or Hines don't play, we're gone. We're no shot of jumping back up. If both of them play though, and Cody Walker goes massive or Cleary goes really well as captain, we're in with a crack to get back into a decent frame. Let's have a quick squiz at number 1. So he is, I mean, he's got an okay lead. It's actually like number 2, 3, 4, like 2, 3, and 4 are like really close, and then it is a decent jump to number 1. But let's have a look at his team. I'm actually pretty curious. So, oh, he's got Grant. I wonder how many trades he's got left. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like if he's number 1, he probably doesn't have any, or he could have one, but he's got Grant, so he doesn't have Grant. Sonny Luke. Oh, the fucking Sonny Luke, man. If this fucking dude's had Sonny Luke the whole time, the fact he's still number 1 is insane. But Sonny Luke could be the guy to like literally win him the comp. Like if Luke, I can't remember the team, but if Sonny Luke plays decent minutes again and he has a bit of attack, he could get a decent score. He's got Tarpany and Horsburgh. So no Horsburgh, no Tohu Harris. So he's like me. Oh, he's got Jack DeBellin who's back. That's pretty nice for him. Dave Fafita. He's got Papali'i. No Hopgood. He'll have Murray. No Bateman. No Johnson. He'll have Hines. Maybe not. That could really stuff him if Hines is ruled out again. Cody Walker, he's got no Kalen Ponga. He looped Drinkwater. Okay, that's what he did. He's got Azarko, Meany's out, Clockstad's out, Manu could be out. He's still got Val Holmes? What the fuck? What? What is happening? How the fuck does he have Val Holmes still? Why? What is this? This makes no sense. This dude's obviously done well, and I'm not trying to talk shit. Like, he's obviously made some good decisions to be in first, but how has he kept Val Holmes for this whole time since he's been out suspended? Like, I know other things pop up and you got to make other trades, but Val Holmes is almost 800k. Like, what? He's got. I'm baffled by that. Greg Marju, no Garrick, no Mitchell. So how many players does he have? So we'll count Manu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So he's got 12, and that's including Sonny Luke and Manu, who could be out. So he's in a little bit, and also Hines potentially could be out. He could have a couple of trades left. For all I know, he could have 2 trades left, and he could trade out Holmes to fucking anybody. That's honestly startling that he's still got Val Holmes. I guess, I guess just other things popped up that needed more attention. And I mean, I guess he's had like a pretty stacked center wing, so I guess he's thought that he didn't actually need another center wing player, which is fair, but it's a lot of money just to sit there. He scored 1,300, so what am I to say? I've fucking scored under 1,000. But he's honestly, I think he's in a little bit of strife. Let's have a look at number 2 quickly before we wrap up. So he's got Nicarima, which is, I mean, arguably better than Luke, but you never know. Luke could get some attack. So both those guys, it'll be a pretty big swing either way if Nicarima or Sonny Luke get some attack, because both have Grant, who's not playing. He won't have Haas. He's got Tarpany. Is Moali on the bench? I don't know. Fucking maybe. I don't remember seeing Moali. If he is, he's only going to score like 20 points. Fafita, no Harris, no Hopgood. He's got Murray. Everyone's got fucking Murray, dude. Nicara, fucking Jack Howarth is on the bench. So people that nuffed out to Howarth have been very lucky. I'm honestly fucking praying that Howarth only plays like 10 minutes, because fuck everybody. Fuck everybody that got Howarth for like enough, and then he's playing in the final round. But it is what it is. He is on the bench. You never know. Cleary, again, I think Cleary will play Hines. He's got Hines. No Munster. He's got Walker. Toto is back. I wouldn't think Toto would get rested even if they're going to rest players, because he had the week off before. He's got Azarko. He's got Marju. No Clockstad. No Garrick. Xavier Coates is out. Yeah, Coates is rested as well. I mean, honestly, even if Coates wasn't rested, he's not scoring any points this week, that's for sure. Ty Munro's out. And he's got Drinkwater. So how many is he? He's probably got about the same, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, maybe 14 if Miley's on the bench. I can't remember. So 14, no, let's say 13, because I don't count Miley. So 13 again, but he's got Howarth, so he could get like 10, 20 points maybe. And he's also got Hines, who may or may not play. The rest of it's pretty good. So they're honestly in a pretty similar position, actually. Looking at his team, I wouldn't think he would quite make up the ground on Wolfpack. But again, trades. I don't know the trades. He could have 2 trades. He could have no trades. It's going to be massive for anybody in the top 10 or even fucking top 20 potentially if they have a few trades in the bag and someone else doesn't. Because if they can bring in a Papenhausen, if they can bring in I don't know who else. Kohler, Cherry Evans. If Cleary's out or Hines is out, like it's gonna make a massive swing. And he actually, he moved up 5 ranks last week as well, so he jumped up. Clarkey Sharks moved up 9. Jesus, 5-year plan moved up 17. How many use? 1482. Man's on a roll. Who's he got? All right, this will be the last one. I gotta wrap it up after this. So he's got Nicarima. He does have Tarpany. I think Isaac Fasuma Ali is on the bench, maybe not. I don't know. He's got Tarpany anyway. Fafita, Olakwatu, Nicara, no Preston. So that's a bit of a dagger for people that held on to him. He's got Cleary, no Johnson, thank God. No Ponga. He's no Munster or Ponga, so that's where having Cody Walker's nice. He's got To'o, Zarko, Marju, no Clockstad, no Meany, no Garrick. He's got Howarth. And no Walsh, no Dallin. Ooh. Hopefully he's got some trades, because he's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe Isaac 11. So hopefully he's got some plans, 5-year plan. But he made a big jump. He made a big jump last week. But that'll wrap it up. I'm sure I'll do obviously I'll do a review after this round, and then I'll probably do another video just sort of talking about the season as a whole, what went good, what went bad. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying the Supercoach. It's winding up. Obviously, a fair few people lose interest this time of the year when things start to go to shit. But anyone still playing, hopefully we all finish well. Hopefully everybody else not watching this has a shit week and everything fucks up in their team. But hopefully us watching, hopefully we have a nice smooth week, jump up the ranks, and just have a good end of the year. But regardless, hopefully you guys are enjoying the series. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.